Hello Internet, and welcome to Game Theory, where I'm actually not Game Theory. I was just joking, of course, but I am experimenting with a similar style of editing that is used in those Game Theory videos. So please let me know what you think of it. I've never made any sort of commentary video before, and I'm just gonna try to experiment with a few things, see what I like, see what works, all that good stuff. So let's get into today's video. Oh wait, real quickly, make sure you're following Sling and Stone Studios, as these videos are, based on their upcoming game Revenant. I'll probably link in the description again. But yeah, in today's video, we are going to be investigating a quote-unquote recovered audio log that was left by Sling and Stone Studios on their YouTube page to see what lore we can dig up from it, and if we can get an understanding of what exactly is going on in this tape. So first I'm gonna let the video play by itself, and then I'll comment on what I think is happening after. So let me play this video for y'all real quickly so that we can see what we can get going on.
Jackson, can you tell me what you saw earlier today?
I was in the room when the nursing staff pronounced Sam dead. Everyone left the room in tears but me. And then he moved. That thing started to move.
Jackson?
Alright, so first of all, this video will start off with, or the video starts off with somebody putting a tape into a cassette player, and then we see the name Dr. Watts as well as a date, and the date shown is 7/5, which I'm going to assume means July 5th, unless this game doesn't take place in New York like I theorized and instead takes place in, I don't know, the Middle East. I don't know what they do over there. But yeah. We also hear a woman, which is also presumably Dr. Watts, ask somebody named Jackson if they could explain what they saw earlier. And what he said was that he was inside of a room, presumably a hospital room, operating room with nursing staff, when they pronounced another person that we don't know, named Sam, dead. And then everybody left the room, but then, except for Jackson, and then Sam moved. We don't hear from the woman again. We don't hear from Sam again, but then we hear the woman ask Jackson, say his name in a questioning tone as if something's wrong. So she asks Jackson, and then we hear, I'm going to assume the chair move, and he stands up, and then he starts to make a gurgling noise, like zombie-esque noises. And then we hear the woman scream and the tape end. So now that we've watched the tape and to analyze what's on the surface, I can now try to explain what I personally think is happening in this in the tape. So I believe that this conversation is taking place inside of Revenant Labs, the facility of Revenant Labs, and that Dr. Watts is a researcher at Revenant Labs. I think that this is correct because this conversation is taped, and I think that the conversation being taped is not just because it's for a teaser for the game, but also because it's related to the lore and what's happening in this scene. I believe that Dr. Watts was trying to figure out what happened from Jackson because he was the only one present in the room. I believe that Sam was experimented on with the Revita 4 virus, and as he, was going about his day or something, the experiment went wrong and he had to be hospitalized. And I believe that, family members were contacted and brought into this room, which is why whenever we hear about Sam dying, we also hear that everyone else left the room crying. So I believe that, except Jackson. So I believe that whenever Sam's body started to move, that's how Jackson became infected. I don't know, I guess the air was bad or something. That's some play explanation. But yeah, I believe that since everyone else left crying and and Jackson were the only ones in the room whenever Sam's body started to move, that's when Jackson became infected. And I believe that later Revenant Labs went up to the hospital to try to figure out what happened with Sam, or what happened after he died and how the experiment went. But nobody had an answer because everyone else had left the room crying. So I believe that they found Jackson, they brought him back to Revenant Labs, and this is when the tape comes in. I believe this is when the events of the tape take place. I believe that these gurgling noises and screams were the case of Revita 4 in the interview, causing Jackson to act with extreme feral aggression, because we hear about that happening, the extreme feral aggression, in the newspaper from the trailer. So I believe that is how, you know, like what was happening in that scene was the extreme feral aggression we know about. And that's how Dr. Watts presumably either died or got infected, but either way, I don't think she's okay after that. But yeah, so that's what I think is personally going on in this tape. If you have any other theories, please make sure to leave them in the comments below. Because, you know, I make mistakes. I'm not the perfect person that you think I am. So if you've enjoyed this and want to prove me wrong, then comment. But yeah, make sure you're following to stay updated on the latest Revenant theories that I come up with. And I will see you next time. As always, thanks for watching.